And we're live. And
Did
we're
you get your
here.
knife
I
again?
got my knife because you know what? In times like these, you got to be prepared, Heath.
Okay.
You got to be prepared. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome
Sorry.
to your favorite ants, the only live show and podcast on the internet. Period.
You
That's
want
a
that
that's a
claim?
fact.
Is
That's a
it?
fact.
Is it?
It is. It is. I feel good about this claim personally.
Okay. Okay, great.
Okay, great. Just kidding. We're not. I'm sure there's other ones out there. Good evening to everyone
We know
watching
there are. We've been
live.
together on them before.
It's
We've been interviewed by people who do it.
it's
So
what who can really say that. Hello to everybody who's watching live here on the YouTube or on Twitch or on Facebook. Super duper glad you're here.
glad
If
to have you here.
yeah, if you're here, please go ahead and drop a little comment in the comment
Say
box and say
hi.
hi. We got Shane who's just saying Shane's been with us for a few weeks and we just really like you, Shane. Just so you
Yeah.
know.
Same with Richard, who's always calling in from New Zealand. Calling
I
in,
know.
is that what we say it?
Calling it. No, he's not calling in. He's texting in or commenting in. Also, lockdown in New Zealand. Wish we had that. You know. Hello, Melissa. Okay, so we got a great show for you tonight. I know that's what we always say, but before we get into that, Sarah, I want to
Yes.
know. I also to everyone who's watching now, how the hell are you? And
Yeah,
Sarah,
let us know how you're doing.
how the hell are you, Sarah? I want to know.
I'm good. I'm good. I've been working on my Airstream most of the day, but I went on 2 hikes this morning with 2
Double
different
pleasure, double
friends.
fun.
Yeah, and
Oh
it
my
was
god, you
super
have two
fun.
friends. That's amazing. I'm just kidding.
This
I'm
is
just kidding.
that's like
This
my
is-
total her in Bend, Oregon is 2
yeah.
friends, 2 of them. Um, it was really fun. It was beautiful, just beautiful. And so I love it up here. It's so gorgeous. And yeah, so I'm doing really well. It's funny that Derek, my hello from Canada, friend of mine, I spent the day mostly just trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to fix the subfloor in my Airstream.
That is something
And
that is above my homosexual pay grade. That's for damn sure.
yes,
I'm
yeah,
not.
yeah.
It's also. Ooh, we'll put this in the shit to talk about. But
We actually have these notes. That's the best thing that you guys need to know that both of us are ADHD, so we literally have to write down what we're going to talk about. Right?
Bobby Burke is hot now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'll
Well,
get
he's
that
always been
image.
hot.
Oh girl, but now, oh honey.
He's super ripped. I
He
know.
said, "Hot girl summer." Who? She said, "I'm here. I'm queer,
Here
and you
I
can
am.
eat sushi off my abdomen because now I have
That's an
abs."
aggressively specific fantasy that you just shared.
I don't want to talk about my fantasy. Also, I don't like sushi, so like it would not be appealing for me personally, if I'm being honest.
um, I will finish off saying it has been a really fun time of just nervousness because of everything that's going on in the world. And so I feel like I'm doing okay, but there's like the thing behind, right? Like you're like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm having a good time. I went out to dinner with a friend last night and I was like, my other friend, all 3. I was like, I am having a really good time. But I was like, but something is wrong. And I'm like, oh, right, the world is falling apart.
Oh
So there's
yeah, that little thing. The
that.
whole like effing world is just
Right.
a little bit of
Shit
a
show.
cluster, a little bit of a clusterfuck right now.
Which is actually why I went hiking this morning. I just needed to sort of get out and be in the world, and so
You're
my
like, I
friend April and
must.
I started the day that way.
We live.
We
I'm
live.
glad
How the
that you.
hell are you?
Ah, this week has honestly been not one of productivity, nor has it been one of great um, creative juices. I would say that I mean, if we're gonna measure things based off of capitalism, it has been a shitty week. But if we're measuring it in terms of how often I took care of myself, it's been a highly successful week because I am
I
really at a
love
point in my
that.
life where I am so fucking tired of running myself into the ground and letting my like working even when I have intense anxiety. And I'm at a point in my life where I don't have to do that. Like, it's not like when I was managing the restaurant and I had to like go in no matter what, no matter how I was feeling. I didn't have to pretend, and I don't have to pretend I'm doing great now because I'm not. Like, I will say, like, today, like, I slept a whole lot because I think my body's just kind of depressed. And then, like, right before we were supposed to get on this call an hour early to do like businessy things, and then it just didn't work
Because we're
out
business women.
because we are business women in a business world. And then I just got really frustrated with myself, as you know. So, all that to say, it's been a rather terrible week. That and I was trying to like Tuesday was the most heavy. Like I think that's
Hmm.
when a lot of the news out of Afghanistan was really coming to light, and I just collapsed a little bit into myself, which is okay,
Hmm.
necessary sometimes.
Hmm.
Um, so I just let myself rest as much as I needed to, and I'm not going to anthropologize for that. And I'm also still trying to find fun. Like that's the big thing. Finding fun is how we're all going to get through this, I think.
I think
Also, I love you too,
too.
D. What's up?
Like we were joking around earlier because both of us have had in the last couple of weeks just days where and you said, and I think it's true, having people like you and I can call each other when we're in the middle of the shit fit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am totally comfortable with you seeing my like ugly, I'm being weird, I'm being anxious, I'm telling myself stories that aren't true. You're comfortable in front of me being like, I'm so mad at myself and I don't know how to
Mm-hmm.
like not be mad at myself right now. And I
Yeah.
know not to be mad at myself. So now I'm mad that I'm mad at myself. And it's like this thing. And I think what
Layers.
layers. So the way we're going to get through things, some humor, and then having people that can just be with you in and through it.
Yes. Yeah. That's the thing. I usually don't get mad at anybody but myself. And like when I do, like I get weird. I was literally on this microphone earlier, like, I can't find my fucking vape. And I was just,
It was the scariest thing because Kevin was whispering,
I
which
was
to me, I don't know.
so
That's
mad.
like trauma for my child. My mom is so great, but when she would talk real quietly, woo, that's how we knew we were in trouble. If she was just
I'm
like,
sorry that I activated your trauma, Sarah.
it's okay. It's not that
Maybe you should
bad.
call your mom after this call and
Mommy.
say, hey, mom, do you remember when you whispered in my ear very aggressively?
She wasn't ever aggressive. It was just always like, are we happy with the choices we're making?
And it's like,
Yeah, it's a lot.
your mom was trying to emulate your highest self, which is always whispering to you,
Oh, I love
or
that.
some, or
Go ahead. I was going to say the other thing. I don't know why highest self made me think of it. The other thing that has been getting me through this week, honestly, is I keep reading and rereading John Donahue's Blessings.
mm,
John O'Donohue, guys. It's to bless the space between us. There is literally a
mm,
blessing in there for everything. And so I've been starting every day with reading one of
mm.
those
That's beautiful. I
through
love
this.
that.
Mhm.
We live, we
Through
live, we
this.
love. We're making it through. Well,
We live. We isn't that the song? This is like your biggest pet peeve with me is I don't know the lyrics of any
I mean,
songs.
you were about to do it correctly and then you stopped. So now I'm even like, yeah, it's
Even
you
more
live, you
annoyed.
learn. That's the whole lyric, because you live, you learn. You love, you
Oh,
learn. You laugh, you learn. You lose, you learn. You bleed,
oh,
you learn.
I'll never forget again.
You live, you learn. By what great
Alanis
artist?
Morissette.
Okay, you can stay.
Oh my gosh, what if this show was kind of
What if
like
I
The
just? What
Bachelor?
if I? Yeah. This is what happens. I'm just like, hey everybody. I'm just gonna do this. Like, hey, welcome to the show where it's just me and not Sarah because she doesn't know any words to anything. That would be mean.
You do control the board.
I do control the board. Until you pay your share of the rent. I'm just kidding.
I'm
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm
putting
just
that in
kidding.
our business notes. I'm just kidding. Okay. So we've
Absolutely.
checked in with ourselves. How's everyone else doing? People said, can you go to Shane?
Shane says I'm doing good. Some flooding
Had
left.
some.
Flooding? Shit, dude. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Well, drop the GoFundMe if you have one. We'll put it in
Yes.
the chat. Um Also said like world events have been making me anxious, introspective of my own views and voting choices. You and me fucking both. Like I just want to say like I said on Twitter and I stand by it, like I hate that I had to vote for Joe Biden of like all people. I was a Bernie stan. I was a Bernie
I was
stan. And then I was a Liz stan.
I was a Liz stan for sure, but not
And
a Bernie
so
stan.
I will say when it comes down between Biden and Trump, I still think I voted the correct way, but God. Oh, it's just
Hmm.
hard time to be alive right now in America.
So
I mean anywhere in the world, TBH.
I was at a concert the other night here at Les Schwab, which is an outdoor stadium. It was great. It was wonderful. We got a little anxious because the crowd got big and we left, but we were it was amazing. A band that I didn't know was opening was a band from like Delta Spirit, which is a local band to the part of California I'm from. Whatever. But I was in line and I ordered a Bud Seltzer.
Cute.
And I said, "Oh, can I have a Bud Seltzer?" And then I was like, the girl was like, "Oh, the blackberry is so good." I was like, "Did you ever think you'd say a Budweiser black like it is so good?" And she
Yeah.
was like, "No." And she goes, "What a time we live in."
We're just like,
It
wow,
was so dramatic.
I'm
What a
I'm
time we live in.
yeah, I'm evaluating the because back in the day, like, you drink a hard seltzer, people would I mean, I would have got made fun of in my fraternity for drinking that. And now like every single bro out here is drinking White Claw like it's going out of style.
Oh, my favorite thing is I was visiting my family and my brother's best friend and I went to the bar and I ordered a hard seltzer and he looked at me and goes, "How long you been doing CrossFit?" I thought it was funny.
Oh my God. I mean, tea, true
Not
tea.
wrong.
Yep.
So let's talk about some Did You Hears.
Let's talk about pop culture and shit in the thing we do each week. Who do you want to start? You want me to start? Or you?
I want you to be angry about, I want you to like, we started talking about how I need to be more of a, I don't need to be more of a pop culture person, but especially since I'm like a recluse who like works on her trailer now and reads NPR. I don't know pop culture as much as you do.
I mean, but like you should be paying attention to some if you want to stay relevant. And that's what I'm here
and
for.
stay on this show. So
yeah, it's like, look, listen, Jen Hatmaker. I hear she's got hats just as big as you, bitch. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna email her. I'm gonna email her. I'm gonna
fucking email her. I'm just joking. No,
CJ has a question, and CJ, just so you know, we do advice in the middle of the show now, so we're coming for you. Don't think we're avoiding your question.
Yeah, for sure. So I would just like to say to everybody out there who's been harassing Lizzo, leave Lizzo alone. As per usual, Lizzo turned out a new song called Rumors featuring Cardi B, which everybody oh, CJ, you don't need to apologize.
You don't need to apologize, honey.
Yeah,
no.
it's like, no.
I'm the only one who needs to apologize, and that's for not reading the newspapers.
Yeah, we're just letting you know that we're not ignoring you. You know what I'm saying?
You're here. You're great.
Yeah, Lizzo out here in these streets putting out a dank new song. It is super duper fun. I'm shaking my ass to it. I'm gonna go to a drag show later. I hope to hear it. I hope to see the queens pulling it out for the girls, for the gods. But like she actually got on IG Live and was like really tearful and was talking about how like when I'm working this hard, it's not that I care about what people think. It's just like that negativity just like affects me more because I'm so stressed out. I'm pushing myself really, really hard. And I don't have the full capacity to like hold it. And I was like, girl, I know what you're talking about. Like, obviously not in the same way, nor to the same capacity, because I am not a fat Black woman, nor am I in like that level of stardom. But like, just like when I am working hard, I'm in the same place. And I cannot imagine being where she is, getting shit on by people just for being who she is, and also for being stellar at what she does.
What are they attacking her over?
Just like her being fat, just like the usual shit, like like telling her like kind of like what the song Rumors is addressing. Like she says like in the chorus is like, if you thought that I was ratchet with my ass hanging out, wait till the summer when they let me out the house. And I'm like, girl, it's the end of summer where you been, but still it's a hot line.
But still, like, come on out.
but she's like, y'all, like, but that's basically what everyone's been talking shit about her. And then so I'm like, it's ironic. So I would just like to say, leave Lizzo alone. Let her do her thing.
Yeah.
If you don't like her shit, F you. And also Charlotte hit it on the head too. The music video is fire, baby. It's so good. So good.
Okay, I'll watch it.
So yeah, that is my little thing of the week.
Charlotte makes a really good point. Folks are mad because Lizzo doesn't hate herself. So here's the thing. We have a really tough time with women who don't hate themselves.
Ding, ding, ding.
Or people who don't fit into like a stereotypical whatever. We need people because we feel bad about ourselves. We feel like they should feel bad about themselves.
Yeah, y'all mad out here because she's literally out here, Black woman, successfully entertainment industry, being her full self in a large body, being sexual, being fly, like You mad. You're
You mad?
mad. You
But you
mad that she's
mad.
successful.
You mad.
You mad. So,
So yeah. So leave Lizzo alone is our vote on that one.
yeah. So, yeah.
We should talk about Bobby. I feel like that's important.
This is something that is
You were
very
hot
important.
before. We just talked about bodies, so we're fine with, however you want to be comfortable in your body. But we got some information that Bobby's real comfortable with Bobby's body.
Yeah, and I am also very comfortable with Bobby's body as well. Like I just can we? Can we?
I mean,
Like, okay, so here's
we
the deal. He's
should.
always been on the show. He's been the one who has been like, I'm very quiet. I'm over here. I am, just designing things. And he was always the one who got like the least on the internet, the least thirsted after. But because also like I don't think he's ever posted a photo like this ever. And I'm wondering, has this been under there the whole
I
time?
think it has.
Have you been secretly hot and married the whole time? And now you're just out here in these streets, just like showing off your titties? Like,
yeah. It's like he is a designer on the street, and I'm just kidding. I mean,
ooh, designer on the street. Was he in the sheet, Sarah?
A freak. Sorry.
Or probably a fine lover.
Probably he's probably an attentive lover.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Who wouldn't love an attentive lover?
I know I would. No, he's fantastic. But also like Tan lately has been showing a lot of pictures of him and his kid, and I love that too. Just to show like the normalization of gay men who have a beautiful baby and they're so happy for.
And unfortunately, I live by the rule that if you have a baby, you can't be the baby. So that's why I'm myself. Think about it.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Yeah, not even me. Because I'm not going to have a baby, and I'm never going to put that baby in the corner. Yeah. So,
all right.
That's that about that.
And then I wanted to talk because I think it's so she's probably a little bit older than your like people. I just opened another can.
I know who Christina Applegate is. Okay.
Christina Applegate having MS and people's reaction to that, like why is she sharing about the fact that she has MS, is because people don't realize. Because a lot of people are like, oh, what's going on with her? Why is she shaky? And so she finally came out and said, I have MS and wrote this list of people that she was grateful for, that she works with, that are helping her still work. She's like, there are days I don't remember things. There are days. And Selma Blair came out, like all these different people who also have the diagnosis of MS. And as a middle-aged woman, I have to say it's the way that it's so hard to not be firing on every cylinder. And I think people's reaction to her sharing about having MS is the same reaction they're having almost to Lizzo. It's like, oh, you can't be vulnerable. You can't be in this space and be real.
Yeah. So it's
the thing less than perfect.
Yeah. The thing they do to the women is just like, you need to be sexy. You need to be cool. You need to be hot. You need to be fly. You need to be all these things. And at the same time, you need to be professional. You need to be smart. But you can't be too smart.
And don't be too sexy.
And definitely don't be fine. But actually, because if you're fine, you're slut. But also, you need to be hot, but virginal. Virginal. Yeah. And also know exactly how to do sexes.
But never have done the sexes before.
Yeah. Just divine knowledge. That's a whole conversation for another time, I bet. I mean, the other thing that happened, just like, I don't want to like sad things like this. The world's on fire. The country's on fire. Apparently, there was a bomb.
Get to that at the end with grievances. We're moving grievances to the end, by the way, friends.
Yeah.
Anyway,
little bit of switch up for us. We are doing Q&A. Questions in the middle, advice time in the middle.
Because we're getting to them enough. We wanted to make sure we got to them.
Yeah, and then kind of like cutting down the grievances a little more, because I feel like I love a complaint. I really do. But we're here. we're here to try to help. That's what we're trying to do here. Okay. I went out of focus. Oh my bad. Ghost. Anything else that we need to cover for this, or do we want to go ahead and move into our quick chains?
Let's go into our questions, I think.
Question time. So, as you know, this is a show where we answer questions that we have from the audience, viewers like you, listeners of the show on the podcast. If you're watching live and you have a question about anything, you can go ahead and put it in the chat. So CJ, if you have like a specific question, because general advice, I could go in a zillion different directions. So ask me a more specific question and we'll go from there. I'm going to pull up my Instagram and the Gmail. Do you got a question to start off?
I actually don't. We covered all of my most recent questions. I think I should check as well, but I'm pretty sure we covered all mine last time.
Wild.
I don't think I got any new ones this time.
If you ever have a question you want to send it to us, you can send it to us via DMs at Rep Sarah Heath and at the Kevin Garcia. You can also send your emails to askyourfavoriteants@gmail.com. Yeah, and yeah, so that's what we got going on. You feel me?
I feel you.
Yeah. Let me see if I've got anything up in my DMs, because I'm sure that I might. Apparently not.
Do you want to address Melissa's because it just fired in?
Yeah, let's do. Melissa asks, how do I get more out of my meditation practice? Thanks. I can tackle this one. I mean, okay, well, the question is like, when you mean more, what do you mean? Like, because like for me in meditation, the whole point of any spiritual practice for me, I've said it before, is to find peace. Okay, tip, go.
I think it's funny because my roommate's dog is also just super loud right now in the background, just licking.
She just wants so much attention. Like this fucking dog will sleep all goddamn day. And then as soon as I have to sit down to work at any hour where the attention is not available to her, she's, what are you doing? Let me butt your knees. Let me butt your elbows. I'm like, there's another thing.
You love that dog so
I
much.
love this fucking dog so much, but she is.
Listen, one of the things you get out of meditation is peace, is what.
Okay, sorry, yeah. Jesus, today's been the day. Now, okay. Well, okay, so when we talk about doing meditation, like it's one of those things where like you can probably immediately notice the benefits of meditation. Yeah. If you're sitting down, like even just for 5 minutes, notice how you feel at the end of it. Do you feel lighter? Do you feel better? Do you feel more connected to yourself? Good. Keep doing it. That's the whole thing, is that it does not matter if you're doing it 5 or 2. People can spend hours with their eyes closed and accomplish nothing. But if you have enough intention within 5 minutes, you can accomplish everything. You can accomplish so much.
I also think consistency is important. I think it's
everything. It's not even important. It is the
understanding that it's like, if I don't work out all the time, it goes away. And it's the same thing. You're working out your ability. And the thing is you're not going to, sometimes you don't even recognize the benefits in that moment when you're sitting down. It's like later you'll think, oh, curious. Like I would have felt really different. Something's different. And you don't know what it is. You're not sure what it is. You're able to even notice things in a different way. Like I know for me, when I'm being regular with my meditation, I start to like breathe differently during the day. So I'll feel myself like someone in the grocery store, whatever it might be, drives me, and I'll just notice that my breathing slows down. And so that's how I get more out of meditation, is just even like allowing yourself to recognize that you kind of feel weird doing it at times. Like I love from the 10% Happier, often talks about how like you don't always see the benefits of it during. So I think the best way is just to keep doing it. That's how you get the most out of it.
I will tell you the amount of times, like when I'm working with people, my first question when they're telling me, well, this stressful thing happening and this thing was happening and this thing was happening, and they're just rattling off all the shit that's going wrong. My question is always, how is your practice? How's your practice going? Are you sitting down with yourself at least 5 minutes a day? Like, it's one of those things where I know for those of us who escaped fundamentalist religion, that sounds so very close to like quiet time or some sort of thing, but just like, I'm not telling you to meditate because it's the holy thing to do. I'm telling people to meditate because it will make you feel better about everything. And if you feel better, guess what? You're going to be able to better interact with this world. And like, isn't that what we want? And when that becomes the most important thing to you, it does not become a chore. In fact, like, I fight to have my meditation time now. If I don't get it in the morning, I have to get it somewhere else because I'm not good without it. Like, especially how stressful the world is right now. Like, I've gotten to a point in my life where like I'm so used to a certain level of peace that when I don't have it or can't get back to it, like, I know something is wrong.
I
And I
mean, I've known
deserve.
you to pull over while driving.
Yes.
I have known you to do that. I have known you to completely say, "Hey, I'm in the middle of this conversation with you, and I need to just meditate. I
Hmm.
need to go from this, get quiet with myself." And it doesn't have to be quiet. That's the other thing. You can use Insight Timer and find something that's not
Hmm.
quiet. You can, for me, in poetry, I will. It's just about doing something every day.
Yes. Whatever it is to get back to you. What are you going to do to
Hmm.
get back to peace? Because no one else is
Hmm.
going to fight for it except for you. You're in charge of it. And
And
so,
5 minutes a day, when we find out that people, I just read this article, people are on social media 2.5 hours a day.
girl, you can look at your own phone. I can look at my phone and tell you that I'm on it way more than that. And
Mm.
so like for me, like right now I'm averaging between like 10, 15 minutes of meditation a day. And man, like I need to up it because this world's real stressful. So that's what I would say about that, Melissa. Get more out of your practice just by fucking doing it. What did we say last week with Blake? It's not magic, it's math.
So it's like throwing
Not
spaghetti at a
math,
wall.
but
Not
maths.
math.
We should
Not
say
math.
maths, which is the British way of
Maths.
saying it.
Thick books and hard sums.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, this friend asks, so what should I say back when my aunt tells me I will go to hell because of my sexuality? She's fucking wrong. Just
Done.
like that. You're wrong.
No, I mean, yes. But
Yes.
also,
Like you can follow it up with that, but the fact is like if
I
some all right, you start. You can you
I
mhm.
think there is something to be said about saying, I'm hearing in what you're saying that you're worried about me. And that part I appreciate. But I need you to
Mm,
understand that
yeah.
your view of the world is different than my view of the world is. And I got to tell you that I'm okay with that being your view. I'm not going to try to change your mind.
Mhm.
Um,
That's
but
it.
I need you to be present to me and who we are in our relationship. And I need you to know that I'm not concerned about my sexuality sending me to hell. And I
Mhm.
am sad that that's the way that you see the world. I hope that one day your mind changes. But in this moment, this is not how we're get anywhere if your view is who I am, who I fundamentally am, is
Mhm.
going to lead me to be separated from the love of the divine. And
Mhm.
also, hell isn't real. No, don't say that part.
I mean, yeah, you could if you really like, it depends on the reaction you want to get. If you want to start a conversation, hopefully move your aunt down the road of possibly
Mhm.
towards inclusion, do what Sarah just said. And you can watch this video back later to get her exact wording because I actually think that was perfect. Because when you are talking to a family member who is conservative and has a view like that, you have to talk to them in their terms
Mhm.
and you have to be so fucking nice to them because otherwise their fragile ego will shut them down.
And it comes from a distorted place of fear, right? It comes from a
Mhm.
distorted place of love. It comes from they love you so much that they're concerned. And if I'm going to be honest, that sounds like hell to me to be so concerned that you are
Mhm.
the gatekeeper. Like they're so worried that they're not going to say the right thing. And a person that they love is not going to make it into heaven.
Mhm.
That's their fear because that's what their pastors are peddling because it's all about marketing and saying, you know, if they
Mm.
don't do this right, then they're gonna end up in hell. And so, well, what's the right thing and
Yeah.
whatnot. So I
Because
think it's
that's
recognizing where they're coming from.
yeah. And I think recognizing that every single and that's the weird and twisted thing about it is recognizing that every single person who is fighting against, not to bring it back to pray away, but any person who's like a part of the X-gay movement, for example, is doing it because they're afraid of hell. They're
Mhm.
afraid that if they don't follow God's teaching or how they perceive God's teaching to be in the Bible, then they're in danger of the entire, like, if I thought that I was in danger of hell, you bet your ass I'd be celibate. You and I wouldn't be friends, you know? I mean, that's true.
Because
Because if I was afraid of hell, I would probably also think that women couldn't be in ministry. So,
I mean, I think it's the recognition of the fear in the other people, and that's the hard
mhm.
part. Because what's happening too is you
Woohoo.
have to understand that your brain is going into fight or flight, because
Mhm.
something intrinsically about who you are, when you've opened yourself up to vulnerability, and everything in our genetics, everything in our just the way that our body has evolved almost is like, this is endangering me because I've now been vulnerable.
Mhm.
This is endangering me, and I am being rejected. And everything our brain is always asking is, do
Mhm.
I belong? Do I belong? Do I belong? So in that moment when this person's saying, no, you don't belong, you have to recognize too that your brain goes back to like a childhood behavior, right? Like your brain goes
Yes.
almost into like,
Ooh.
and you know it, because like I laugh. My brother is one of my favorite people in the world, but he's the only person who can turn me into a 12-year-old like that by saying one word or one thing that reminds me of a fight we had when we were 12 years old. And all of a sudden I'm
Mhm.
yelling at 40 years old, I am not a princess. Like literally, guys, like this is what our brains do
Is
to
that one of
us.
your trigger words, by the way?
Princess. Hmm.
I sent you a poem years ago, and you didn't like it when I sent it to you because it was called "You Are Not a Princess," and it's by Emily Joy, and you did not receive it in that moment.
Did I not?
You were very like, it was like not what you needed to hear in that moment, even though you like, I was like, this could be very helpful for you, or this is what I'm trying to tell you. But
Really?
like, yeah, I'll send it to you later, and like
Send it to me again.
you'll probably understand exactly why you hated it, you know?
Yeah, I think
So,
it's just like, and be gentle with yourself. Go, wow, that wasn't how I wanted to react in this moment. Because like I
mhm,
think I've had those moments with my brother where I'm like, oh, and I remind myself that my goal is always to stay curious. And so
mhm,
I can just keep asking questions like, wow, so your belief like is this. Can you
mhm.
define that for me more and more? And
Yeah,
with those moments, it's like I'm not being curious. I've
yeah,
just decided what you think of me. So I'm gonna be mad.
mhm,
And then sometimes they're just dicks and you have to walk away.
mhm. Yeah, and something I would do is, like, define really, really clear boundaries with your aunt, and I would say, "Hey, aunt, I understand that we see this differently, and
Mhm.
I'm still committed to having a healthy relationship with you. And if we're going to have a healthy relationship, this is what I need. When I'm
Mm.
around you,
Needs is great.
you can't, I was like, if you do X, Y, and Z things, that makes me really uncomfortable. And if you continue to do that, then our relationship is going to have to change."
Because
Or just
I
like,
can't show up. I can't show up as my full self. I
right.
can't show up as my best self.
Hmm.
And I understand that you're coming at this from an idea of love, but
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
need you to know I'm not receiving it as that.
And that's the thing, is just like, I would just say, when you say, like, are you aware that when you say you're going to hell, it makes me feel so awful. Like, it's like you really don't understand, do you, how deeply that hurts? Like, you're hurting me.
Yeah, it's rejection.
Do you understand that you are hurting me?
Mhm.
And like a lot of people, like when you tease it out that way,
Mhm.
it's really like, people really don't get it. It's just like, so like, how does it feel to know that you're hurting me?
Mhm. And are you gonna maintain that? Are you gonna keep hurting
Yeah.
me?
Because if you keep hurting me, our relationship is gonna have to change. And that to
Mhm.
me is one of the most powerful statements in the world. It's not manipulative, it's not
Mm-mm.
threatening, it's not an ultimatum, it's just information.
Yeah, it's
And then
just
they can
saying, here's
yeah.
what I need in my life, and here's what I'm allowing in my life right now.
Mhm.
Friendships that do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Um, and that is not what that is.
Yeah.
Um, do we
I would
have
just like to
one more?
I wanted to highlight this one that Richard says. So it's really hard being compassionate with someone who loves you and treats you like that. Be compassionate with yourself, and you'll be able to be compassionate with others.
It starts inside.
Bing, ding dong, right there. You know what RuPaul says every single week? If you can't
No,
love
I don't.
yourself, how the hell you're gonna love somebody
Oh, I
else?
do know that RuPaul says that.
Yes, and
I knew that one.
that's really something we need to keep in mind. It's just that, like, how you feel, your experience. You're the one who has to live your life. Your experience is the most important, and that's what I'll say for me. To me, my experience is the most important. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do whatever's best for my experience. And nothing is going to get in the way of my peace. Point blank, period. That's it.
Compassion.
Yeah, I love myself too much for this. CJ also has one more question. Do you want to bring it up real quick?
I think so. That might need to be our last question if we're going to get our grievances in.
Yeah, this will be good. I think it's going. CJ asks again, I have realized that there's a number of gay guys that do not like bi men. So should I keep admitting that I'm bi when I talk to men, or should I say at first that I'm gay? Are you bi or are you gay? Doesn't fucking matter, because guess what? You might identify one way and you might identify someone the next day. So really, here's two ways you can look at this. You're allowed to identify however the fuck you want to. Because here's the deal. I'm queer. And so for me, my attractions stem from being attracted to trans men, trans women, queer women who aren't even interested in men. I find myself attracted to them. Like dead ass. I'm talking about, so like, do you know Antonia Terrazas? On Twitter? I think she's so hot. I don't know. It's something about like powerful queer women. Or like Grace Baldridge's wife.
Oh, she's so great.
Stunting.
Yeah,
she stunts on these hoes. And so for me, like I'm technically bisexual according to the definition that says bisexuality is being attracted to genders like your own and genders not like your own. But then the thing is, what's my gender? Lols, don't know. So like you're allowed to be attracted to whoever you want. So like, am I gay? Sure, because I am attracted to men who are also gay. Then yeah, that's a gay thing. So
also, do you really want to be a guy who doesn't want to be with you because you're bi?
Yeah, that's another thing. If you're bisexual and a guy doesn't want to be with you because you are bi, you don't want to be with him. Like that's really fucking shallow and really fucking stupid. Like is there biphobia? Yes, but fuck them.
Yeah. And I think it sounds like you're at a place where you know yourself well enough to know that you're bisexual. Then you probably know yourself well enough to know that I can't really be with someone who I can't openly communicate with. Like if you're starting out, like this is the T of being 40, friends. Like I'm at a point where I can't play the game. I can't. I'm not gonna wait 3 days to text you back. If I'm gonna text you back, I'm gonna text you back.
I'm gonna text you back right now because I want to right now.
Right now. And if you don't want to do that, then here's the deal. Like I can't, I need open communication. I want someone who wants to communicate with me. This is the same thing. Do you really want a man who can't handle that you are also attracted to women? Because the lie is that means you're going to be attracted to other women in a committed relationship, because like bisexual people are no more attracted to people, or they're attracted to other people. Yes, but they're no more going to be unfaithful. And that's a bullshit thing that a lot of people think.
The unfaithfulness of bisexual and non-monosexual people.
Right.
Because like here's the deal. Straights. Let's talk about the straights.
You can talk about my people.
Listen, they out here cheating. And also as like somebody else, like as somebody who like, you know, identified as a gay man one time, like I cheated on my partner one time. Guilty. Because you know why? This is another conversation for another time about why people cheat. But basically it's just like it all comes down to like I had a need that I could not vocalize within my relationship for a real or perceived reason. Doesn't make it right. But the thing about it is that's to break down the trope of saying that bisexual people are sluts or are unfaithful. It's to say that anybody of any sexuality or any gender has the potential for that. So
those are good questions.
Listen,
tonight.
You're bisexual. Be proud. You're really fucking cool. You're a cool bisexual person. And just live that out more. There's also a really great shirt out there that says bisexual and still not into you that I'm a big fan of.
Oh, I love that. That's hilarious. As a straight woman, I feel like sometimes I want to say to guys like single and still not into you.
It's like, hey, I hate you. Just say hate. I hate you. Just tell them that. Don't tell them that.
I will. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about grievances.
All right, so now we're transitioning to the part of the show. Oh, I forgot to put our logo up in the corner. Now
there we are. Should we be on the other side of each other because we're on the other side? Never mind.
I mean, I can easily switch us.
Look at us.
Look at that. So we're coming to the part of our show where we have a couple of grievances that we need to
air
to my sweet angel. Go. Go, 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 go.
By the way, for those of you who are listening to this podcast later, Kevin is talking to Kevin's dog, not to me.
My fucking dog. Yeah. Again, I love this dog, but Jesus Christ, she was trying my patience tonight. So we've got some grievances about the world. One of the things I have a grievance about, among other things, again, this is like more pop culture things that I want to read, but Governor Greg Abbott of Texas, who has been a anti-vaxxer and anti-masker, and outright, like, he's trying to tell Texas schools that you cannot, like, you're not allowed to require your students in public schools to wear masks, even though bitches can say, oh, is that a spaghetti strap? You can't wear that. Tank
Right.
tops, can't wear that. Your shorts, oh, they're another credit card link. What was it, like credit card linked below your fingertips? But like, what if you got like ridiculously long arms? What if you someone who's got like a tiny torso and long arms, and then
The
you can't
dumbest
wear
thing.
shit, and you can't wear
Right.
shit. Like, it doesn't work. It's not a good thing. Just like, let people wear there they want. You know what's more distracting? You making this poor girl wear an orange shirt over her spaghetti strap shirt.
Like an A. It's like a.
Yeah, I'm just like, that's not distracting. Y'all are fucking idiots. Like, that's the thing that just like bothers me. It's just like, and also there's like, you
But
harass black students about their hairstyles, but a mask is just a bridge too far. I mean, come on.
yeah, it's not great. So, yep, this is where we're at. So,
And also, this is like the way it gets even better is Greg Abbott tested positive for COVID.
yeah.
Even though also he is somebody who is vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where it's just like, get your shit together. Like, and also like, I know everybody who's listening to this later or watching this now is probably vaccinated and probably doesn't have a problem wearing masks in public spaces where you know, you're inside, etc., etc. I just don't fucking understand why people are still confused about what's happening in the world. You know, I'm so confused as to why every single, like, all of the people who are in the hospital right now, the majority of them, like, I think it's like a 90% of them are unvaccinated individuals, and the people who
It
are
is.
dying are unvaccinated individuals.
At the hospital here, it's 97%. The other thing I will tell you, just as someone whose father is a physician, mom's a nurse, and every one of my friends is here, is either a nurse. Actually, it's not everyone, but most of them are nurses or doctors or firemen. The situation is this: they have seen 0 people because of side effects of the vaccination. 0 patients. 0 patients for all of my one-to-one contact people in the medical field have they seen for side effects from the vaccine. So let's just say that's not a thing. Yeah. It's frustrating. And it's also just, at what point do we, like, how do you sleep at night is really my question for this governor. How do they sleep at night? Is because, like,
Called Xanax, baby.
Is the power and privilege that you live with, does that comfort you at night to know? And the fact that children are hospitalized right now, guys. Children. Mm-hmm.
Fucking yeah, Matthew. You about to say Matthew Paul Turner's kid?
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Paul Turner's kid got COVID. She wore a
Our
mask.
dear friend, I know. So, and then now people are like, well, that means vaccinations and masks don't work.
That's untrue, actually.
But the kids are going to be there. Like, Matthew Paul Turner's daughter is probably going to get better really quick, and it'll just be like a cold had she not. You know, there's all of these things that we have to be honest about. And one of the things we have to be honest about is that freedom doesn't look like I'm free to, like, harm other people. And that's the hard part, right?
Yeah.
So,
and that's the thing. It's just like, you can believe whatever the fuck you want, but just like, make it make sense to me. Like, and here's like the thing is,
how do
it
we
doesn't
cross
make
the
sense.
bridge though? At some point we have to. There has to be
like
a way.
What, like I'm on the other side of the bridge already. I'm over here in vaccination land. Like, it's all those other people. Like, I don't got to cross no bridges. No, I don't meet nobody in the middle. You know why? Because that's not my job anymore. I can't,
Got it.
won't do it.
And
Because
I
at
feel
this
like that
point, just like
is
if
who I
you don't
am.
want to believe the truth at this point, like if you don't want to believe data that's right in front of you, if you want to be angry, I'm gonna let you be angry. I'm just not gonna fuck with you no more.
Except the problem is you're affecting other people around you. I actually had a dear friend have a panic attack out in public the other day who is a healthcare
Mm,
professional, and they are the toughest person I've ever met, guys. I mean, tough as nails, and had a panic attack because they were seeing people so close and they were saying, "What's going on with my body? Like, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? I'm so
mhm,
scared." And I said, "You are traumatized. You put a
mhm.
27-year-old on a vent last night. You're traumatized. And now you're out here in the world seeing people acting like it's not happening." So we have to understand the mental health of our caregivers is worse than it was in the beginning, because all of them had this sense of hope that people were going to do the right thing. And then everybody is telling them that they're lying. So not only are they being heroes and being on the front line, but then they're being told that they're lying. And then the shit thing is, a bunch of my friends, the other night we were all hanging out, we were all having fun, and then they all started talking about their floors and what they were going through. And a number of them were like, "You have no idea how many people ask us for the vaccination while they're in for COVID." They go, "Oh, I want it now." And they're like, "That's not how it works. You've
Mhm.
got it. Like you can't
It's
go
too late.
back." Hmm.
Like you might like. I hope you don't die.
Hmm.
Like
Anyway,
that.
we
Like,
all know.
and
I know
so yeah,
we're preaching to the choir, but my hope and prayer is that they're just smarter people than us
mm.
working on something that is gonna, fix it in a different way other than people getting
I'm
to choose it for
talking air
themselves.
dispersal. I'm talking we got to reverse engineer. Like, why don't we use CRISPR? You know what CRISPR is? The gene editing
Yes,
technology out there.
sure do.
We can use CRISPR. I'm sure this is not how it works, but in my science fantasy brain, maybe just use CRISPR. We, get another, like, we redo the virus so that it is different in the antivirus, airborne antibodies. That's not how this works because that just feels like a plague greater than we've
Waiting to
seen on this.
happen.
I also there is this show on fucking Paramount Plus right now called The Stand. I don't recommend it because the premise of the show is that there is an airborne flu-like virus that has a 99% mortality rate. I'm like, did you who who greenlit this show at this time? If you
It got greenlit in 2018. They finished it.
in 2019 and then they didn't air it till 2021.
Mhm.
They listen, y'all should have just cut your losses at that point because it's too close to home and also kind of weird. It's like
Um,
weird because like there's like dreams and psychic and all these sorts of things and magical power somewhere in there, but everybody dies from like the plague at the beginning and it's just not cool. Too close to home for me, you know.
Oof. Yep.
You know.
I do know. Um, our next grievance, I think, really is Afghanistan, and that it's very fascinating to me that we don't want to admit that we caused this, that we weaponized this, that
Like,
we did
like
weaponize it. All the
no,
weapons are, I know.
like the thing that like you're like saying it's like the president's like, no, I stand behind it. And it's like, how many more troops would you have me? So I'm like, it's not that I want you to leave more troops there. It's just that I want an admittance of guilt.
Mhm.
At least start there. Just like, yeah, you know, 3 decades ago, we backed the Taliban because they were going to change the regime for us, and the regime didn't work out the way we wanted to, and then they became an extremist group. Like, America is guilty of this over and over and over
I
again. We
understand
destabilize a region, and then we fuck it up for them.
I understand the feeling of like when can we stop? When do we let things happen without overly going into it, right? Like I
Mhm.
think that is actually a good premise. The problem is we've already got our fingers in it.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
the other thing that I want to say to all of you who served in Afghanistan, understand that I understand you're being re-traumatized. There is a
Mhm.
wonderful organization called Pew Pew, PEW, Logan Isaacs, who is a former, I guess, He's a veteran
Mhm.
who works with veterans who have, maybe more progressive views now and are trying to deal with how do I deal with this?
Mhm.
You have to understand the things you're seeing after you felt like you were doing a good thing is traumatic and difficult, and you need to know that there is support for you, because I think so many people, a lot of my friends who are military are having a very tough time with what they're seeing. I
Yeah.
mean, all of us are having a tough time, guys. All of us are. But if your boots have been on the ground, I just
Yeah.
read this amazing, inspiring story, and everyone should look it up, of this woman who is a robotics engineer. She's amazing, 11 kids. She flew to Qatar and got a bunch of the women's robotic uh, team out
Mhm.
because she knew that the women who are in science would be the first to be gunned after. So this amazing, like as she said, she's a Midwest woman who just happened to do robotics things with some of her kids. She ended up going and getting, like, she has a degree as well, and it's just a really cool one. She's like, yeah, I couldn't imagine leaving them there. So
Good.
yeah,
So, big F you to the government as per usual. I
nice.
hate it here.
I
So
don't. I just want us to be better.
I hate it here and I want us to be better. I
I
don't want to hate it. I just
know.
do,
I know, and that's okay. We
I
can
think
have a difference.
what makes me sad is that like I grew up like 29 like in a military family and so like
I always forget
I
that.
oh yeah, when
Hi.
Afghanistan my dad was in Afghanistan when they launched the first attacks. Like he was gone like after 9/11 he was gone within a couple days and like was out in the field immediately. Oh, he's got little licky sounds that you can hear because of your mic.
Sorry, stop it. This is not even my Newfoundlander. This is my roommate's Newfoundlander, and he's letting
Hold on, let's
me
just
know
full screen this.
you and his future
Show us this
babies.
show your
Come
baby.
here. Come here, little babies. You're not a little babies. You're a very big baby. This is 100 pound of a baby. He big.
That's a baby.
Big
Mm,
boy. He's letting me know that he's hungry.
yeah. Well, we're coming to the end of our evening anti-ways. So, um,
Anti-ways.
anti-ways. So,
Also, there's people at the border. There's so many things to be upset about, but there's also things
mm,
to hold on to in the midst of it. Pick your
yeah.
lane, pick the thing that really matters to you, care about
Mhm,
that, work as much as you can towards it.
yep.
Um,
And then also
great.
like here's the thing I also say like I want to go back to something we said like during our Q&A is that I have all these complaints. And it's also the reason that I meditate and I keep my practices is because the world is a stressful place. And the only way I'm going to respond and be able to respond with any sort of grace, love, or even be able to get through my fucking day is if I give the space in my day to decompress, to love myself, to set myself up for success. So if you do nothing this week, my advice, which is the last section of the show,
Called
um,
advice, weekend share. Ah.
be bom beep. My advice is meditate 5 minutes a day every day for the next 5 days and tell me what happens. I tell people this all the time, just like 5 minutes a day will change your life. Nobody seems to fucking believe me, but if you would just take me up on this offer, I swear you can change your life.
Hey, why don't we make it a challenge, guys? Until next Thursday, just 5 minutes a day. I'm going to do it. I promise to do it. And then I'll check back in with you because I haven't been doing it every day. So I'm going
Mm,
to do it every day till next Thursday. You know, I love a
mhm.
challenge. Let's do
Yeah,
it. See how it goes.
5-day meditation invitation.
Cute.
I mean,
My
I'm a
advice is,
sucker for branding.
I know I am too. Like, you have no idea. My advice is this: get curious about your own emotions instead of just accepting them for what they are. Get curious about what they are, like the thing behind the thing. So I had a really strong reaction to something this week, like a really strong reaction. And everybody around me was saying, I don't think that's what's happening. I don't think this person is avoiding. I don't think this is what's happening, but I have so much expectation that what's going to happen involves abandonment, all that kind of stuff. Right. And then I just pause and I said, wait, why am I feeling all of this? Like, what if, oh, this is curious. So, like, be able to like hold that out in front of you and go, wow, my fear is rejection. I wonder why.
Hmm.
And so I want to give you the advice that this week, get curious about why you're feeling all of the things you're feeling. So meditate and get curious and make good decisions, and we'll see you next week. And we're so glad you joined us.
Yeah, we really like you so much.
We
You're
really do.
wonderful people. And until next time, we love you. Make good choices. You're
Great choices.
beautiful and
You are.
wonderful. And
Yeah,
we'll
you are.
see you next week.
Yes, next week, same
Bye.
bat.
Same time, same place.
Same
Share
time.
this with a friend. Follow us on social media. Send your questions, concerns, emails, whatever, to
Grievances
ask your
even.
favorite.
We'll take your grievances.
Yeah, send your grievances and questions to askyourfavoriteants@gmail.com. Please make sure to follow irreverent.fm, which is the amazing podcast network that we are a part of. And we want you to know more about us.
Come see us at Wild Goose. We're doing a live show.
Yeah, we're going to
So
be
come
at
to
Wild
Wild
Goose.
Goose.
If
get
you're in
wild.
the area, it's going to be so good. All the information is on the internet, and I'm sure you can just check our link. So I'm Kevin.
I'm Sarah.
And we're your favorite ants, and that's the end of the show. Goodbye,
Yay.
everyone.
Bye.
Have an amazing week. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.